What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the 16th day of December, and here we are sitting at about $0.00255 with 7 hours and 51 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Zebec looking to put in a bit of a reversal here, maybe some type of a double bottom. Bitcoin itself looking to reverse as well, potentially putting in a bullish engulfing candle by the end of the day if we push higher here. I actually want to look at the 1 hour real quick. Let's just see. I mean, this looks good. This looks, yeah, it looks like we're getting a recovery. What's interesting, though, is that... No, I'm not going to say it. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if the pace picked up. Let's just leave it at that. Okay? If you think that it's going to just continue like this, I mean, maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if when this move up ends, you'll see it end with a bang. Does that make sense? I wouldn't be surprised if it ended even like just above this high. But I just want to look real quick. Hold on. Yeah, we've got more to go. We definitely have more to go. Anyway, ZBCN here on the daily time frame, from a low point here to a high point here, you have found support between your 786 and your 886 zone, which this was inevitably where we assumed that we would go to, right? Something between 0024 and 00228, something in this range. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm forgetting. I didn't make a video yesterday, but I did make a video the day before. But it was when the day hadn't closed yet. We were calling for a move to find support at the golden ratio. That's right, 00262, 00252. But we didn't. We went a little bit lower. And again, if this area wasn't going to hold, we did say that the 786, 886 area likely would hold as support there. So that's what it is. Okay. Just to get things straight, I don't want to pretend like I'm right, like I called this perfectly, because that's not what happened. I hate people that do that. I don't care for that. Sometimes I forget what my calls are. Daily time, I make like 10 calls a day, damn it, if not more, if you're on X.com too. On that note, I think bullish might be at a good area to buy. Oh, we said that already, and it's up a little bit here. ZBCN looking like it wants to move up from here. I think so. That's a nice reversal candle. Some indecision candles. This is what's called indecision candles. When you get a doji candle one direction, you get a doji candle the other direction. That's called indecision. Typically, whenever you get indecision at a high point, that's bearish. At a low point, that's bullish. Typically. Not always, but typically. Like here you had some indecisive candles. You had this bearish hammer. Then you had a bullish hammer, I guess. I don't know what kind of candle that would be. It's like almost a bullish engulfing candle. Then a bearish one. And then you moved up, right? You had some indecision, but you're at your lows, so then you moved up. Here you had some indecision candles as well at your lows. Here, this was just a straight wick, not really indecisive. Indecision candles right here, back and forth, and then we moved up, right, at your relative lows. We've got the same thing going on here. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to blast through the roof, but at least something that would take us higher. At the very least, to a lower high, if not something that breaks out of this lower high trend. I think we're at the point where we're going to break out of the lower high trend, and here's my thoughts on that, right? We have a higher low. All these times before were lower lows, and so we had lower highs. Now we have a higher low, and I very much am confident in this low being the low. We have a higher low. We get a higher high here, or a higher high here. That validates that this is the low, that we are moving up, and that Zebec is done with its downward movement that we've been in really since, really since May. Really since August, but really since May. I want to look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom out from there. Okay, 1 hour time frame. The RSI here. It's somewhat bearish. I mean, overall, I guess you can see that in the price. But you do have higher highs in the price here and higher highs in the RSI, and you bounce off the 50. It actually looks good here. I would think that we push into the overbought zone. And again, what we're seeing here on the 1 hour time frame doesn't mean through the roof. It just means higher. How much higher, I don't know, but I think that we do push higher from here. We'll get into the how much higher in a second, okay? Stochastics are bullish. The MACD is about to cross above the zero. You had bullish divergence at the lows. Bullish. On all counts, bullish. 4 hour time frame. If we are moving up from here, and I assume that we are, from a low to a high, we're right below the golden ratio. Maybe we stop at 00262. Maybe we stop there and we find resistance and then we come back down. Perhaps we break above the golden ratio and we find resistance at the 0.5, which is at 00279. Or we run all the way up to the 236, all the way up at 0032. But something in this area is what I would expect, if not at least the golden ratio. What I'm looking for, because we're assuming that we're productive here, is a move that will take you at least to the 0.5 or the 382, something in this area, between 0.028, let's just say, and 0.003 itself, somewhere in that area, pull back to the golden ratio for support, and then move up. If not, that's fine. You don't have to pull back to the golden ratio. Hit the 382, pull back to the 0.5. Hit the 236, pull back to the 382. Show some type of construction, productivity. Show some life, instead of being deconstructive with your fibs. Be productive. Be, finding support at higher lows, finding resistance at higher highs at the next fibs, right? You don't just have to make this one fell swoop move. But with that being said, again, we do kind of actually have this nice little drop. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we had a V-shaped recovery. Did the V start here? Did it start here? If this is a V-shaped recovery, we should move all the way up above the 236 pretty quickly. And that'd be very welcome. I don't know how it's going to look. I'm throwing a bunch of numbers at you because I don't know how it's going to look. Are we just going to hit this and then reject and then go lower? It's a possibility. Something to address. It's probably the least likely outcome, so therefore, in my opinion, we'd probably go to the 0.5382. That's a more likely outcome. But in the context of this being a V-shaped recovery, might we just go all the way up above the 236 as well? Anything's possible. And I want to say, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but we get above this 0.032 level, you validate this as a higher low, and you very likely validate this as a low as well. Because then at that point, you're going to take out this high, and then you have higher highs and higher lows. Starting a new trend, right? 4-hour time frame, looking at the indicators, bullish divergence on the RSI and the stochastics. Not on the MACD, but it's like it wants to have bullish divergence, but it doesn't. Still, though, the oscillators are down at some pretty low levels. The MACD is, the histograms hit some low levels as well, but not as low as we normally see. The stochastics look bullish, the RSI looks bullish, the MACD looks bearish. That's the only one, but typically the MACD does look bearish at its lows, and it looks bullish at its highs typically. Unless you have bullish divergence or bearish divergence set up, typically that's how it is. So I'm pretty confident we do move up from here. We look at the daily time frame, bouncing right off the oversold zone. Stochastics looking like they want to come out of the oversold zone, and the MACD, to be fair, it's kind of neutral, but you're dying off, right? This bearish momentum is slowly dying off. We're getting to the point where it's non-existent. You're going to get some bullish effects coming into play here. It doesn't mean that it has to be right now, but soon enough. I mean, in the grand scheme of this overall consolidation phase, you're probably 90% of the way through, if not 95% of the way through. You're very, very close. Maybe you're a full 100% of the way through and you're moving up right now. Whatever the case may be. I do think that getting above this high, 0.036, is very important. A couple levels to pay attention to. 0.032. 0.032 is an important level because effectively there we get higher lows. I guess we don't have higher highs technically at that point. To be completely fair, we don't yet. That's why this level here at 0.036 is important. But when we get above 0.032, we close above the 236 of this retracement. That would help with the odds that this is the low from the 21st of November, that's the low. So getting above 0.032 is that first important point. The next important point is 0.036, what is it, 362. And then from there, the only thing left to do really is to take out this high and then you're home free. And what do I mean by you're home free? I mean you're going to new all-time highs, man. The expectation here is that Zebec from here will rally to anywhere from 3 to 4.5 cents. That's the expectation. From the current price, that would be anything from about, a 12x move to potentially a 17, almost an 18x move. And if that sounds crazy, well, in the context of this, yes, it is crazy. It's a little bit bigger than that last move that we had. It's a little bit bigger. That's what we're forecasting, but that's the whole point. I think that we will see a bigger move. I don't think that this next move is going to be smaller than this move. I think it's going to be bigger than this move. And if I'm right, if it is bigger, we throw our fibs on here from a high to a low, not the fake out low, but this low, the initial pullback. If it's going to be bigger than this move here, than that move there, that means we're not going to stop in these fibs, or lower. The only fib above is this one here, and that's 3 cents to 4.5 cents. I feel like that's a completely appropriate area. The primary target zone is your 1618 to your 1272. The secondary zone is the 1886 to the 2618. We already believe, I believe, we're not going to stop here. So then the only areas left in this secondary zone are 3 to 4.5 cents. Could we go higher? Sure, but I doubt it. I mean, it can happen. It definitely can happen, but We'll talk about that when we get a little bit higher. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'm kind of curious here real quick. Hold on, let me see. I just want to see, does anything line up with these levels here? 3 cent, 4.5 cent, or anything in between maybe? Because it's pretty common to actually wick above the 2272. We put a high here, low there. The 3618, but that's it. Not really anything, to be fair. That's okay. What about this high to low? 2618, 2272, kind of similar. That looks a little bit better. That might be a more significant fib. I'm a little surprised though, because that's a pretty significant fib there too. But maybe we saw the end of it here with the 1886200 level. And then that's something else to consider. If I'm wrong, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. We stopped right here at the 200 1886 level. Could we do it again? You know, we could if we replicate this move, we could. But that still provides very substantial growth. I hope everybody's okay with a 2 cent ZBCN. I doubt that that's where it stops, but I hope you're okay with that. I would very much expect 3 to 4.5 cents, but don't get your feelings hurt if that's where we go. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Thank you all. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.